What is up, Iron fans? Welcome back to another Marvel Legends wave ranking video. My name is Decepticon9, and today, as you all saw the title, we are taking a look at the Iron Man wave, also known as the Ursa Major Build-A-Figure wave. This wave released in about late August, early September, and I think it's personally been one of my favorite waves of the year in terms of Marvel Legends. It's certainly right up there with the Marvel Legends Villains wave, the Zemnu Build-A-Figure wave, which I also am planning on doing a ranking of as well because I adore that wave in pretty much in totality. Same thing with today's wave. This wave all around is spectacular. I love the Winter Guard. They're one of my favorite groups in Marvel Comics, and so having a wave where there is Dark Star and Ursa Major, a 2-for-1, was absolutely incredible. Having already had the Crimson Dynamo Build-A-Figure from last year and the Red Guardian from a few years back, I needed to complete my Winter Guard collection, and now I have a few more Iron Mans to add to my shelves as well. But enough talk about the wave itself. Let's go ahead and get right into the ranking. All right, coming in at the bottom of the list at number 8, we're looking at the Vault Guardsman. Now, this figure isn't particularly bad, and I'm sure there's lots of people who enjoy getting this guy, but for me, this figure doesn't really do anything special. I don't have a huge attachment to the character of the Vault Guardsman. I've only read, I think, maybe 1 or 2 books that they actually appear in. And overall, for me as a figure, like, he looks great. He looks really nice, but he doesn't do anything to wow me. He's just kind of boring. He's just kind of there. He's the guy that I also wanted the least out of this wave. I wasn't super excited about this guy overall, but I'm sure there's lots of people who went out and bought multiples of this guy and were desperate to have some in their collection. But for me, he doesn't really have a space at this moment. Coming in at number 7, unfortunately, it pains me to put her so low on this list, but it is Dark Star. She was the first person I found from this wave, and she looks spectacular. Don't get me wrong, she looks absolutely incredible. But the biggest problem with her here is that she is still using that old Marvel Legends female body. I call it the Sue Storm body most of the time because I think that's what I have the most of in terms of this body mold. If you've watched some of my other Marvel Legends videos, you know I've complained about this body mold before, and it definitely doesn't help here on Dark Star, but she does look absolutely fantastic. Her head sculpt is really nice, and I do like the hair. I just wish Hasbro would update their female body molds and stop giving us this one, because Dark Star definitely needs to not be on this old, outdated body mold. Coming in at number 6, we're looking at the worst of the actual Iron Men included in this wave. That is the hologram Iron Man. Now, this figure's alright. This figure's not too terrible. I think it's my first version of this MCU Iron Man mold, but the thing that is really spectacular about this figure overall is the clear plastic all the way through. The hologram feature on it is really nice, and it looks really cool. Having him displayed with a bunch of other Iron Man suits would look particularly awesome, especially if you have more of this mold in general. I just don't have a lot of Iron Mans overall, but having this guy fit in with a bunch of other Iron Man suits is absolutely awesome. But I can tell the mold is a few years old. It does seem to have, he doesn't have articulation issues, but it just seems a little outdated in terms of some of its joints and the way it moves around. But overall, a pretty awesome looking piece to add to your collection. All right, coming in at number 5 is the Stealth Iron Man suit. This is, of course, on the classic Iron Man body, the 80th anniversary Iron Man body, which is a fantastic body mold. If you saw my Shang-Chi video, you know I ranked that Iron Man very, very high, and I love the 80th anniversary look and mold overall. So having another one to add to my collection is not that bad, especially with the way the blue looks. Both shades of blue on this guy look absolutely fantastic, and the way the red pops out through that blue also is super, super incredible. The only reason he is down at number 5 is because the rest of his figures on this wave I like a lot more and are a lot better, although the next one is a little more subjective. All right, coming in at number 4 is the figure in this wave that did not come with a Build-A-Figure piece, but I still felt I needed to add to my collection, is the Modular Iron Man. This guy is so incredible. When I first saw pictures of this, I got super excited because I don't remember what it is, but I think this is one of the very first Iron Man armors I remember seeing before the Iron Man movie came out, and then it might have been from the 90s cartoon or one that was very inspired by it, but this suit held a lot of nostalgia for me overall because of just the way he looks. I think this is one of my favorite Iron Man armors of all time, one of my favorite looks overall for Iron Man, and getting him here in figure form is absolutely incredible. I don't know if he tops the 80th anniversary, but it's definitely a close competition. This guy and the most recent War Machine figure together look absolutely spectacular. All right, we're getting into the top 3. There's only 3 figures left. That is including the Build-A-Figure, obviously, and who better to lead the top 3 than Ironheart, Riri Williams. Finally, a female figure done right, done super, super well. This figure absolutely blew me out of the water because I personally don't know much about Ironheart. I don't think I've read any of her solo books, and I've read a few books I think that have her in them, but overall, this figure is incredible. She's got double jointed elbows on the arms. She's got these wonderful accessory pieces that smoke blasting effect look absolutely incredible. She has awesome neck articulation, this ab swivel, and she has legs that are made out of a harder material than the Sue Storm body mold legs, and hers have not warped, making a C curve out of her calf, which is spectacular. And she's all pinless everywhere. She is a totally pinless figure, which makes her look super, super clean. And overall, you can't go wrong with Ironheart. Coming in at number 2 is the Build-A-Figure himself, Ursa Major. This guy's awesome. He was really like the main reason I wanted this wave, besides the figure that's number 1 on the list, who you all will probably now know, because I love the Winter Guard, as I mentioned, and I have Crimson Dynamo, and putting this guy and the Crimson Dynamo together looks absolutely, absolutely incredible. And this Ursa Major figure overall is just super, super cool. I love that we've been getting some more of these animalistic type big figures lately with Ursa Major and Armadillo now and then No Way Home wave, but this guy looks absolutely incredible. If anything that I could say about Ursa Major that is a downside is that I wish he would have come with some alternate hands maybe, but overall he is spectacular. He does have single jointed knees, which is a little weird to see in 2021, but the range that they give those legs is still pretty good enough anyway that it doesn't really bother me that it's only a single joint. He looks incredible. If you like the Winter Guard and you need a Winter Guard display on your shelf like I do, you definitely need to have Ursa Major. Definitely one of the best Build-A-Figures of 2021. Maybe at the end of the year I'll rank all the Build-A-Figures that I got from 2021. Which takes us to number 1, my personal favorite figure from this list. Probably he's got to be in the top 3 of Marvel Legends figures of this year. He's just absolutely spectacular. It is Ultron. Man, this guy is phenomenal. Just like Ironheart, he has pinless joints all over the place. He's on a spectacular body mold. His shoulder pieces is a small thing, but his shoulder pieces rotate with the arm instead of causing, problems there. He's got this Kirby crackle effect going on in his head, and he looks spectacular with that in his mouth or without that in his mouth. And overall, he just is spectacular. The paint job on him is very, very well done. I like that there is a swivel at the hips and up the upper ab instead of being a swivel and a crunch. I think it makes the figure overall just look so much nicer. And Ultron is one of my favorite Marvel villains, and so getting this version of Ultron is absolutely spectacular. And really soon I hope we get a what if version of Ultron, because that version of Ultron next to this version of Ultron would look super great. And if I had to do a top 10 Marvel Legends of the year, this guy would definitely be at least in the top 3. I am in love with this Ultron figure.
Yes, but your system code left an opening for Ultron.
All right, Iron fans, that is all I have for you today for the Ursa Major Build-A-Figure wave. Go ahead and let me know down in the comments below, how would you rank this wave? What are your favorite figures from this wave? Overall, I think this was a pretty solid wave of figures for Marvel Legends. I think it's definitely one of the best of the year in terms of full waves. It's very rare that I enjoy pretty much every figure from a wave. Usually there's one or two duds, or more than that. Obviously there was at least one. He's not really a dud, but he's kind of a dud for me. But the rest of the wave balances that one out because there's so many great figures overall in this wave. Anyway, that is all I got for you guys today. Thanks for joining me for another ranking video, and I'll see you all next time.